last video, you have duplicated the template. If you can't find it in your space, try going to the sidebar by going over to the left, then scrolling down to the Template Live Brand Collaboration Tracker. Click on it and it will populate the page. In how to use the space, you can always click the little triangles. Those will be drop-down menus, and I will have a written out version of this video if you want to read along or just watch the video for the visuals. Video will go over how to use this template, how to customize it, because I want you to get the most out of it. You can make it as simple or complex as you like. This video will be very beginner friendly to show you how you can use Notion to your benefit, especially tracking brand collabs. There's other sources for you to use. I linked the Notion YouTube channel as well as their basics, so you can get a handle of what Notion has to offer if you want to explore that. I'll also show you later in the video how I customize it to one of my clients' needs, so you can see the full capacity of how that works. If you no longer need the Notion instructions, you can always click on these dots right here. It's going to pop up a little menu and you can delete it if you like. When you buy a new template, I recommend duplicating it. You can go over to the three dots on the top right corner, and the second one down is the duplicate button. Always duplicate it so you have a fresh, clean template to come back to just in case you make a mistake, delete something you don't want. And then also going through the process, when you are feeling good about your template, I would suggest duplicating it again so there's no information lost and you won't be sad if all your hard work gets deleted by accident or for whatever happens. It's just a great safety to get into the hang of. So duplicate it, and then let's get into what this template has to offer. So to begin with, there are two little template sections for when you're pitching brands. You can link your initial pitches here for your DMs. To go back, there's going to be this little menu up top of what kind of pages you're in, and then the back pages. You can click it to bring you back to where you were. And then same with the email templates. You can link your media kit as well as proposal email here. So it's easy to copy and paste as a base to start from. Always personalize your outreach to brands. That's how you will most likely get a response back. Okay, moving on. To close the drop-down menu of the triangles, you can just click on it and boom, gone. Off, I'm going to take you through the brand intake form. Whether you're importing old information for a brand collab or a new one, we're just going to walk through how to use it and then how to customize it and where it goes in the database. So we're just going to put something silly to begin with. I'll just put in like my information. So we're just going to say brand me, Instagram link, always use a URL. It won't take anything but a URL here. And it's really nice, once it's in the database, you can just click the URL and it's going to bring you right to the Instagram profile. So then you want the type of collab it is. We're just going to say beauty. Direction, if you're outreaching, it's outbound. If somebody inbounds you with an email or collab, that's inbound, mutual, or referral. So we're going to do outbound. When you are in talks with a marketing person, you always want to remember the contact name. It's a good habit to get into. Their email if you have it. Most of the time you won't have it to begin with, but it's a good starting point if you do. If not, leave it blank. If you are location-based, you want to click location. I have a client that is in luxury travel, so location bases are one of the main things we look at when designing collaborations. And then priority level, how excited are you trying to get this collab? And then most of the time when you're first starting reaching out, you don't have a start date or stay date or deliverables due, but if you do, you can put in your answer and a little calendar will drop down. Same with deliverables. When it's due, a little calendar drops down, and then you can click as many as you like for the deliverables based on if the project has gotten that far. But most times it won't yet. Any notes you'd like to include, you can just type in your answer. And then this part right here kind of tracks where you are in the pitch process. My pitch process usually starts with Instagram DM to get the email. I put in the date that we reached out. If there was an email sent, usually it won't be yet, but If you are importing a old collab, it could be. And if you need any follow-up dates for the future, if they haven't gotten back to you at a certain date and you want to remember to reach out to them, you can put it in here. As well as if you did send that email, when did that happen? At the very bottom, since I work with clients, I usually use this button, only tick off if the brand deal is waiting on a client's response or your response, so you remember to get back to the brand. Because there's nothing worse than letting brand deals slip because you forgot something. So after everything's done, you're gonna hit submit, and then you're gonna be left with this page. To be able to submit a new form, you're gonna refresh the page. So you just come up here to the little refresher button, refresh. Everything is saved, so don't worry, nothing's going away. And then it will be added to our little database. So you see the information we just put in is now here. Quickly, how it's gonna look with the all collaboration view, but we'll get into it step by step. First, I want to show you the intake form and how you can customize it for yourself. To go into any of the views for the database, you can click on this menu here. If you don't see all of them, you'll see a number and a more button. Click that and you will be given a drop-down menu for all the data views that have already been created. We'll go through each one separately. But let's get back to the intake form and how you can customize it based on what kind of collaborations you do. So click option here. You can change who the form is available to. So you can go into any question, customize it. Also, these little 3 dots, you can customize it further, whether it's required, a bigger description's needed, if a longer answer is needed, and a little more about the properties, but mainly you can edit it right in the form view. So if you have other types of brand collabs you want to add, say you want to do hair, you press the add option button and type it in. And then press enter and boom, it's there. You can also delete it by hovering over and you see this little trash can. Same with direction. You can also hover over an option, click it and move it down if you want to switch up the orders for any of the options. If you want to delete a question, you can come into here and delete question. You can also hide it if you don't want to completely delete it, because it may also impact other databases. Same with location base, priority, you kind of get the gist. If you want to add another question, you can always come down to the bottom here to add a question. So that goes over how to customize the intake form. What we want to go over is all collaboration. So this is where all of the information lives in the database. So if you can't find something, it will live here at some point. I will most likely have the database locked so you don't delete anything. When it's locked, you will see this little button. If you want to come in and customize anything, you're just hover over the titles, see this little locked button, click it, unlock it for me, and now you can customize it. It's just a safety feature so you don't delete things by accident, but remember to lock and unlock it going about customizing. So everything you see from what you added in the form will show up here. So by the brand name, and you can also go into the open button. It will bring up a page with all its information up here, and then you can add notes if you like and create a new page for that brand. The way to customize your database based on your needs is by customizing the properties. So for an example, let's go back into the type of brand deals that you have. You click it, go down to edit property, and then over here, you have the options already there. You can add another option by clicking this button, the little plus, and then let's type in makeup And then remember to hit the enter or return key for it to show up. If you click out of it, it won't save. So enter, yay. But we don't really like this color. You can click on it and it'll bring up the colors option. And let's just say we like pink for makeup. And there you go, you change the color. You can do the same thing with the other properties. You can also edit it by clicking and typing in the contact, adding links, and the same thing database that you saw in the form, the IG, DM. If you DM them, you can click it here, add the date you reached out, add their email, emailed them, the email date, and if they replied and waiting your response. And then this little status button goes through the different stages of a brand collab, so you know exactly where each one is in the process without having to do much digging. I wanted to create this as a simple glimpse view so you know exactly where your deals are without having to do much digging. So let's just say we're waiting on the brand's response for DM. And then there's also a section for media rates. If you have agreed with the price with the brand, you can click it here so you can keep track of. You can add a section for contract URL so it's easy to access, type of deliverables they're looking for, your notes, follow-ups, assess, priority, location. So that is all the properties that we have that are labeling and tagging our brand collabs to keep them more organized. Now we're gonna go through all the different views. Sound pitches, it will show up and it will tell you what status is it. So all the views are filtered based on the goals you need during your brand collaboration. Say you're just looking for inbound opportunities. If you do have an inbound, it will have an opportunity that has been labeled out. It will show up in this form. Same with outbound, with the information you need. And if you alter information in this view, it alters for all views. And then one of the views that I find super helpful is need to pitch. This is basically filtered by when the status is in no action. It will show up here, so you know exactly what brands you need to pitch, and they don't get lost in the huge all collaboration view. And then another way to view your brands is through the status tracker. You can see exactly what brands are in each stage to help the flow. And then a couple other views to help you out is the calendar view, so you can see exactly when brands deals start and when they end and when deliverables are due. And to go back to the other views, remember, go up back to the title, click the arrow, and that will drop down your other views. So another one is awaiting brand reply. If a button is checked off, it will show up in this view as a list. So it's just going to show you the name of the brand that you're waiting the reply from, and then also the date of the next follow-up, so you know when to keep track and reach out. And then the last one is waiting my reply. In case a brand is waiting on me to answer them, it'll show up same as list view. That basically wraps up how to use the form. If you do choose to customize it, remember to relock it so you don't lose all your information. Now I'm gonna show you a example with my client so you can see how I'm using this in real time. So here's the example of my brand collabs with my travel client. When using it with clients, I always give them little instructions of how to use it, so they're not just like, oh, what is this? What do I do? So you can see I customized it a little bit by the types, more locations, and then everything else is essentially the same. I also let them know that the Databases are mostly for viewing only. If they do say reach out to a brand collab, I'd rather them inform me instead of like playing around in here. But I also have it locked just in case so we don't lose main data. For this, I want to show you how much information it can store and how it will help you stay organized once you get up to a lot of emails. So here is the all view. You see all the information in this view, and then we go to more. So the one I usually look at is need to pitch. Where are we at with those? So these are no action status. So I know I need to go to their Instagram and DM them to try to get their email so we can move on to the next process. And then another view that I use a lot is waiting on my reply. So these, I know that I have information about the brand that I have relayed to my client, and now I need their reply or response to the brand so then I can go back to pitch them with whatever we decide or how we can move forward in the brand collaboration process. And then for this one, I made a new little view base. I'm gonna show you how to do it as well. So this is a location base because we are mostly travel. So I have another layer where it's just tagged by location. So this is how you'd be able to create a new view. So remember, make sure it's unlocked. So to create a new view, we're gonna click on the 8 or more option to drop down our menu, and then we're gonna create a new view. So based on what you want, depends on what kind of view you're going for. There's table, which is what you saw in all collaboration. There's board, which you're looking at right now for the location base, charts, list, timeline, calendar, and gallery. I tend to stay with board or table unless I'm doing a calendar view. So let's just go to, let's say, another board. And our goal is to show it by status. No, let's do by type. So to change what it's being shown, you go group by, and then I want it grouped by, and then all your properties show up. So I want it grouped by type. So all the way to the bottom, there's our type. You click it, and this little eyeball icon shows if you want it the type visible or not. So you hide group, it disappears. You unhide it, it will, show back up. And then you can view all your collabs by the different types you have. And then also remember to relock it. A ton of tutorials on YouTube. And if you're ever having problems, I will always try my best to technically support you in any way possible. You can email me, and I will have my email within this little other resource section, and then also here. I will also have my email here for you guys to email me in case you need support. But for customization, it's up to you of how you'd like to use the space. I hope you love it, and I hope you get all the brand collaborations and partnerships that you deserve. Let me know how you like the space or how you would want it improved for next time. If there's ever updates, which there will probably be updates of it, I will always update you guys with an email so you can get a link to the new version. All right, hope you enjoy. Bye.